Hail and well met. This is Arm Bushido for Dry Socks AR, and welcome back to another episode of SITREP. SITREP 03. So, in the news this week, I was looking at the first part of the week because of the holiday weekend for us here in America. Wasn't really counting on much as far as news goes. I wasn't really counting on much from, War Thunder just recently had its major patch, 1.69, which included the Italian aircraft tree and various other vehicles, and we've went over this before. But I was a little surprised that today from Armored Warfare, and we'll just lead in with this one, since it's the first thing up on my screen. First thing they posted was they're going to do this storyline campaign. Okay, this is, I guess my feelings on this are a little bit twisted, or should I say, mixed. I like how they're trying to give the game some type of background and story. I get it. I like it. My problem with this is, again, and it's my overall problem with the game, is that it's trying to cater, I think, just too many play styles. We have three versions of the game that gets played. You got PvP, you have GLOPS, and you have PvE. Of course, GLOPS being the middle ground, trying to be a mix of the two. As you know, in North America, PvP is dead. I mean, it's not just dead; it's now been in the grave for a while. GLOPS is the same way. You can't get around. PvE is still there, kind of, but again, I've already stressed on how I feel about PvE. It's a great distraction, but in the end of the day, it's just not the bread and butter of the game. And you go look at the other two, War Thunder, World of Tanks, you see what's going on here. Now, again, War Thunder, you can kind of say it's kind of like GLOPS, because some missions do have a mix in with some AI in there. So again, if I had to discuss Armored Warfare, I'd say first off, guys, you need to pick one thing and one thing only to focus. And I've kind of iterated this before. I think the people that come for the PvE will never PvP. So again, it's a tough choice. So again, hey, if you're gonna pick something, just pick PvE and let's move on so you can focus on something. It always feels like they're just all over the place and they're never gonna cater and make everybody happy. Again, I'd like to see them eliminate the PvE. If anything, pick the GLOPS, eliminate the two edges, put the middle ground, and roll with it, or something. Anyway, again, this is an event, and a lot of people are hoping to say, I hope it's not too grindy. Again, all these games are grindy. I'm really feeling the weight in War Thunder right now, so I can't imagine, again, the idea is to draw out this gameplay. But the other thing that kind of surprised me here, was that then just happened a few minutes ago. I don't know when they posted it, but for me to catch it, is they're actually going to update the North American server to 2.0. What does this bring? Okay, right now there's no patch notes, but based on the patch notes over a month ago, of course there's a whole UI revamp. And I'll do my review on that. I've already done a couple. I have some other videos you can check out that kind of discuss this a little bit. But overall, it's a UI revamp. I want to say there's a new map, but there's no new vehicle lines or anything like that. So again, a little bit content starved here. And now we've almost went on 2 months since the .19. So it's kind of like, here we are again. The problem with the game, one of the many problems is, but no content. There is just no content. War Thunder, World of Tanks are on a pretty good cycle. About every 2 months, they're posting a patch with new content, new stuff, keeping the game rolling, keeping things kind of changed up and jazzed up. Where Armored Warfare really just has not recovered from the 8 months it took to redo the revamp. And then now here we are. We're going back into that cycle where things are getting drug out. There's no real content. I don't know. I hate to be so pessimistic about the game. I really do, because I want it to succeed. Because again, I am kind of starving for some modern vehicles. I am getting kind of burnt out in the World War II. And I'll touch a little bit on my thoughts on War Thunder's direction here in a moment. But for the most part, it's hard to stay positive about this game considering it just feels like it's not going anywhere. I don't know. Maybe in 3 years from now, we'll all be kicking ourselves in the butt or going, man, I told you so. It worked out great. I don't know. I honestly feel I just don't see it, but who knows? Maybe the company has the dedication and just the drive just to keep chipping away at it slowly but surely. And maybe one day we all wake up and then it's there. So anyway, that's enough on Armored Warfare. We've and many people who watch the channel, know how I feel, and we've kind of, discussed it a lot. Let's just see. And again, I'll be posting my thoughts on the patch the moment, the first chance I get. But anyway, we're going to move on to the second one. Which is yes, the one thing that this week happened on Tuesday is Rising Storm 2 Vietnam launched. And again, I cannot say enough about this game. Unfortunately, I haven't got to play. I was so excited to go out and play, and I only got to. I did a piece, small little thing on the settings, and you can go check that out. And I also did a quick first look, about 10 minutes, 15 minutes gameplay. I played as a 60 gunner, I believe, on the American side. I am excited to be able to sit down and play this. Hopefully. More and do some more in-depth reviews and play. I am working on getting my Twitch feed going and maybe show some live stuff maybe towards this weekend. Again, unfortunately, I do this whole thing kind of as fun. It's been doing the whole YouTube thing has been kind of fun. It's a lot of work. I find it to be a lot of work, and I don't have the time to dedicate a lot of streamers have. I do have a full-time job and family. But anyway, again, I cannot say enough about Rising Storm 2 in Vietnam. Again, it still says you can pre-purchase and save 25%. Not sure on that. I thought that ended the day it launched, but still, I think worst case, it's normally $25. I mean, seriously. $25 for a game that I feel is better than any of the Call of Duty or Battlefield in the last several years, and for a third of the price, or sometimes even a quarter. This is just phenomenally a really well done game. And so I'm kind of again, I'm excited. I love what Tripwire does, and I'm hoping to do a lot more footage on this game. Anyway, not much more there. Again, it launched this week. May 30th was the official day. For me, started up. What little bit I did ran well. I think I had one little crash, not sure. But overall, for the price point, like I said, we waste more money on Starbucks every damn day. Anyway, let's move on to the next topic, which is War Thunder. Of course, War Thunder had their big patch last week. So this week there's not much going on really with them. I do believe there's some D-Day events coming up with June 6th. Of course, D-Day anniversary coming up. The typical stuff. The patch is going really well. In fact, so far I did a quick video on the Puma, kind of an introduction to the Italian tree line. You can check that all out down below. And so far I feel, again, the direction War Thunder's going, out of the three, I play War Thunder the most, as you all know, and I feel the direction it's going is the direction I want to see. I think we're going to eventually see modern vehicles in this game. And again, I've talked about this. I hope they don't do it where we just keep grinding, because already, I'll be right up front with you, I've worked very hard on my German line, all my lines, and I'm feeling this tremendous weight of this grind it's coming along. And so I'm hoping if they do introduce more modern vehicles, they do it in some creative way that just doesn't mean grinding more, and again, can it be a second tab in a tree? I don't know, because will it pull away from the other vehicles? They need to find a way to incorporate it that still keeps all the game cycling and going with all the vehicles and stuff like that. But still not make it feel like, hey, newcomers to the game, maybe they only want to play modern vehicles, get a chance to do it. And I don't really have a lot of great answers here. But again, like I said, I think War Thunder, I've seen an increase in the numbers out there, people that are trying it. In fact, I got a couple of friends now that are firing up and trying it and want to try it. And again, if your first time watching this, never played War Thunder, I know they dump you right into arcade. and that's a great place to get your feet wet. But the arcades like playing the other two, World of Tanks, Armored Warfare. Get out, do realistic battles. Don't go off into sim right away, but I feel like arcade is the very misleading of that game, and kind of in some ways gives a bad impression. I don't like the way arcade lightens up the physics of the vehicles. I don't like the pixel hunting. I don't like being identified from across the map. It's just not my cup of tea, and I feel it really gives it a bad rep. But other than that, I am a War Thunder fan, love it, and I am very excited for the future. Moving on to the final piece, I thought I would touch on World of Tanks. I don't generally do a whole lot on World of Tanks. I think I've got one video right now where I did a review of the Thunderbolt. I don't play a lot of World of Tanks. It is not my cup of tea, as a per se, and I feel where I don't play it, I don't feel I can talk about it too much. But at the same time, I feel that it's headed in a backwards direction. There's a lot of negativity out there right now with World of Tanks over, when you have a game that's peaked like this has, where they go next, and the creeping up of the gold rounds and the premium vehicles is starting to wear on people. Some of the made up, fake kind of tank, Japanese heavy line, let's just throw that one on the table, is really, starting to show. I don't know. I hate to really give a too deep opinion because I just don't play it enough anymore. I have my personal feelings about it, and the personal feelings is I didn't like the Golden BB. I'm not too up about premium tanks as long as they're balanced and not greater than a normal tank. But it sounds like now with this latest, I can't remember, is it the Chrysler? Everybody's really in a tizzy about. But again, I hate to just talk about it because I don't know too much about it. So I'm going to report on the new patch here. Let's just focus on that. There was a new patch, and I believe it was yesterday. Looks like you are now getting ranked battle mode, which is kind of cool. Improved equipment directives. Interesting. I might have to log in and take a look at that one. Interface improvements, of course, those are always welcome. Always, again, a UI can make or break a game, and I think this is why Armored Warfare kind of switched up their UI, trying to give a more familiar view, and maybe make people feel more comfortable as they come to the game, because it feels more like, of course, World of Tanks. But anyway, again, I don't want to go too deep into World of Tanks. I decided to post it for people to know. Maybe they missed it. Maybe, who knows. Again, it just posted on the 30. Oh, it posted. Was it today or yesterday? I swear it said yesterday. I think they posted the article yesterday. It was today it went down. So kind of interesting. And to do a final kind of summarization here. And I'll pick scene 3. Just to end with the video playing of Rising Storm 2 Vietnam. But as a kind of final summarization, it's interesting. We're starting to see, as I said, War Thunder, World of Tanks have got a pretty good cycle for patching going on. We're seeing something about every 2 months, on the nose, give or take. And Armored Warfare, of course, my discussion there. But definitely you're starting to see, I think, a little bit of the weight of the competition between these 3 games and others out there. There's some other ones out there, some Chinese knockoffs and stuff. So now everybody is really pounding, trying to gain your dollars or your euros or whatever. And all that for me just means that it makes the games better. They're trying to compete harder and harder. Sometimes it can backfire a little bit, and I think World of Tanks is starting to feel that a little bit. But overall, it's a hefty competition, and it is good. Even with Armored Warfare not doing the best, it's still hanging out there on the edges, on the fringe, and is something that could maybe, hopefully, become something and could help pull away more players. Or in my case, you play a couple of them. Again, I do focus on War Thunder. I don't play a lot of Armored Warfare anymore. I'd like to. I just struggle. I'm not into PvE, and then I just don't do World of Tanks. But anyway, those are my thoughts, and that's what's kind of in the news as far as our tanking games go. And again, I've been looking to try to I'm looking for input for this. What does everybody want to see? Again, this is supposed to be kind of a, hey, this is what's going on this week. I picked Wednesdays as kind of the way it's fallen into. I report on like the 3 major games, mainly War Thunder, maybe some other game like Rising Storm 2 Vietnam. I don't know. I'm trying to find things to fit in here. Because I'm trying to, keep this down. This is kind of a news update, kind of. Hey, I may report on something that you have not seen, and go, oh wow, I didn't know about that. Anyway, like I said, post your comments, give me thoughts, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. As always, subscribe. And again, this is Arm Bashir for Dry Socks AR, and may Odin welcome you to Valhalla.